Good afternoon, everybody. I do agree to the deliberations conducted so far by my colleagues here. And the problems they have mentioned. First problem, I think Professor Krishnaswamy said about Board of Studies. It's a very high position, and I don't think whether I am eligible enough to comment. But what I have seen while practicing education for, in the field of pedagogy for the last 49 years at school, college and university level and engineering college level, I have seen the commissions, their reports like Kothari Commission, Professor Ramurthy Commission, then Professor Yashpal Commission. These three reports, they have not reached even the principals or in some colleges or universities, or the teachers have not even read. So forget about the parents. Now I give the latest example. Right to Education, this Act 2009 and then amended and up to 2011. You will be surprised and shocked to know in cities like say Pune or Mumbai or Chandigarh or even Patna, some of my colleagues have come from Patna, forget the parent community, but the teachers are not aware of this Act. The Department of Education, the officials with due regards, they are not aware of this one, and they are least interested to get it popularized. And you will come out with something, shocking statements. The people who are deprived of the facilities and for whom this act will come as a major help, these people don't approach the educational institutions. That means socially there are many gaps. So since it is a part of sociology, it must be given priority, but that is not given priority, and we are used to read only the reports in the newspapers and go on criticizing. The second aspect about the syllabus, etc., I strongly say, and I have been at my level only, I have been trying to implement this one, and there is a friend who says that her college has got that autonomous status. Syllabus is to be formulated, must be formulated by teachers, particularly practicing teachers, and there are teachers 30 years, 40 years working. They should be given that prominence, because today what happens, the publishers, like say I know publishers in Delhi and Mumbai, they buy the teachers, they buy our knowledge. We need money, there is dearth of money, she said, so we need money for our requirements, so we are tempted to. They pay us money and we write for them. Our name is not at all published. So why not the managements of the colleges and schools and the concerned people, the proprietors, why not give incentives to their own teachers? Even the workbooks are printed by somebody, written by somebody, printed by somebody, and we follow them here. So I think if the thrust is given on this particular aspect, that teachers, that position, yes, they will decide the course. Of course, within the policy of the nation. I am not crossing that, but they decide that and then they implement that. I think things will change. Thank you very much.
You have raised a very important question, sir. Even the commission reports are not known by many of the teachers. None of them have read it, including the National Knowledge Commission. There was a criticism that people like Sam Petroda and Nandan Nilekari, they are not the people to decide the real policy for higher education. And also, the leading educations of this country, their voices are also not heard. People like Yashpal and then Arun Nikvekar. See, our main issues are access, equity and quality. Yes. See, in a country like India, there is a huge variation in the character of the institution. You have institutions like Sriram College of Commerce, and you also have one government college in a remote area in many parts of the country. And there are also government institutions who are doing extremely well. In Bangalore itself, one government college has got A grade, given A grade by NAC. So there cannot be a uniform policy. You have children who can pay any amount of time to get quality education. It is also a fact that there are about 200-300 students in our own university. You might think ours is elite university. There are a few hundred students who forgo their lunch every day. It took us 5 years to know that. Then we have made some arrangement to give them lunch. So if a uniform policy cannot be formulated, if there is no R&D for higher education in India, only people like us have to aggressively put forward ideas and convince the government to have different policies to suit the requirements of the institutions. Thank you, sir.
I have a clarification. What is the purpose of this education? To bring good human being, right? Are we doing that? That is what my question. But nowadays, by reading newspapers and TV news, many literates or politicians are doing all the things which cannot imaginable. So what we are going to do for that?
I am a teacher of language and literature. In evaluating students, we give questions, that give scope for them to analyze critically. But the students are not able to do it because they have a lot of materials available, and so they merely refer books and they copy what they find in the books. I feel that students can't be honest and trying to analyze critically at the college level. When they study at schools, they are trying to score a lot of marks by memorizing. And when they come to college, they find it very difficult to criticize anything. And so I feel that the students should be trying to think, criticize and analyze at the schools itself.
I am Dr. Shashikala from PSG Arts College. In abroad, if you see, they are giving project works for each and every subject, each and every lesson. But in our country, we are not doing that. For UG, we are giving one. In our college, we are giving a group project like that for UG, and for PG, individual project like that. But if we are able to give project works for each and every subject, then it will be little bit practical oriented than today.
Focused basically on the critical consciousness action. And I agree with the apprehension that in spite of electronic sophistication or this NMICT strategies, problem will remain. We will not be able to generate critical intelligence in students. And in the psychology context is referred to. I don't have any disagreement there. But when the issues of economics, mainly relating to econometrics and statistical quantification and so on, I don't understand how you can see that kind of economic education difficult in multimedia sort of thing. I think it is easy. But genuine economics or hardcore economics, as you rightly presume, cannot be taught. For example, you can teach growth model, or Wilder's theory can be taught using the smart classroom facilities. But if you want to develop critical faculty in students of economics by introducing, say, trade imbalance as conceived by Andre Miller-Frank, or the question of developed countries exploiting the underdeveloped as conceived by the underdevelopment thesis, Walter Rodney, or say kind of reinterpretation of primitive accumulation that economics of Samironin would discuss. So Immanuel Wallerstein or Hawkins and Brodel and people of those kind, the critical political economists, their theories are surcharged with critical intelligence, and that you cannot easily transmit using the sophisticated techniques. The main problem would be difficulties in preparing software of that kind. Difficulties because we have to be blamed ourselves for that. We are not able to properly communicate our intellectual requirements to the computer specialist. The computer specialist has to know our needs to prepare the software accordingly. And we are not able to do it because we have lost our reflexive ability to think in that, think at that level. Although we are all talking like this, you are chosen from various areas and you generally don't represent the cross section, I would say. You are select people and most of you have your own interest in these areas. That need not be the case with other teachers. They are all as floating objects in the current. A swimmer is different from a floating object. A swimmer has a destination and therefore swimmer has to have a relationship of encounter with the current and then somehow has to navigate using the energy of the current but reach the destination. But a floating object is just a happy object. It can just be carried away by the current and can be deposited anywhere. There are many teachers like that. And unfortunately, the whole system embodies that sort of indifference. We think about the pedagogic science on the one side. Enough knowledge about scientific preparation of curriculum is available, but we are not really using that. No university in the country has clearly articulated graduate attributes as yet. As I understand, it was only about 3 or 4 years ago, for the first time in the country, for professional institutions like engineering colleges, graduate attributes were prepared. Now, what are you really expecting by way of competencies and sub-competencies the student to possess after clearing the course, after completion of the course? These are graduate attributes. And for nursing colleges, for a long time since, they are having graduate attributes very clearly articulated. But we don't have postgraduate attributes because of this. And we don't have doctoral attributes. So we do not know what exactly we expect the student to build up by way of faculty. At that point onwards, we have to find answers. A course preparation, I had great expectation. Now would be removing the deficiencies of syllabus preparation. But course preparation became all the more easy. You just cut one course, one annual syllabus into 2, microeconomics 1, microeconomics 2. There is no course designing there. Course designing is a very serious exercise. There, clear identification of learning outcome is necessary, and then each module has to be prepared in such a way that the instructional support of that module would help the candidate develop certain competencies. And at the graduate level, it is discipline-based, discipline-oriented, and the basics of the discipline. What is fundamental to the discipline should be clear to the graduate student. The graduate student is to acquire the knowledge language and the expressions. If it is economics, basics of economics should be clear to the student. The language of economics, which is the knowledge language of economics, should be very clear. If a student of economics is also interchangeably use cost and price, then that student hasn't understood basics of it. But in the open society, you will find people talking about a costly sari, and the person only means it is highly priced sari. But a costly sari in economics means an entirely different thing. So basics should be clear, and a graduate should be proficient in the knowledge language. In other words, it is capability to communicate the subject matter, the basics, in the technical language of the discipline. And acquisition of basics actually requires analytical understanding. No discipline is talking common sense. Common sense is also there, but profoundly enunciated, complex theoretical knowledge would be there, and a student should be able to understand that. A teacher's success is rendering the theory plausible in the classroom, for which this multimedia facility will help. You can allow an eminent economist in some well-known university giving a lecture, a YouTube piece that can be projected. And there can be many video lectures, videographed lectures reproduced in the class. So multimedia can be used for understanding theory. But it is not enough. The students should develop analytical faculty. A graduate should be encouraged and helped to develop analytical faculty for higher cognition and then communicative ability to transmit knowledge in knowledge language. If it is economics, knowledge related to economics in the language of economics. Are you really having these attributes as declarations in your mind when you are teaching microeconomics, macroeconomics, political economy, whatever? I am not blaming teachers. I also belong to that community. We are not responsible. And when I became Vice Chancellor, I certainly tried to remedy this. I tried to democratize the course designing by inviting course designers from different institutions. And I did not depend upon the board of studies. I depended upon the teachers. About 1,000 teachers participated in the course. It was a major movement-like thing, democratization of the whole process of course designing. Still, I don't claim to have succeeded in that. There are problems still. Some of the problems have been already pointed out by you people, by your experience. Then other economics teacher also shared the same thing. I think the problem lies with the designing of the course with very clear understanding about the learning outcome. And creative ability of the students to be given priority, one person suggested. Now, how do we give priority to innovative faculty if teaching is an alienating process and learning is all the more alienating? Now, you have teachers as floating objects. They are sleeping, although they are very much involved in taking classes in an energy-intensive manner. Sometimes they walk up and down in the class and all that, but they are actually sleeping as far as the knowledge content is concerned. They are not awakened. It is very important that knowledge is rendered plausible in the classroom, making clear the process of the coming into being of knowledge, for which a teacher has to be very clear about the theories. Reproduction of theory alone will not do. Theorization involves some kind of an abstraction of a process very clearly understood. That process has to be reenacted in the class. Otherwise, students will get alienated. They will mechanically remember things and then they do it. And as graduates, they learn things like that. As postgraduates also, they learn like that. And then after post-graduation, they go to a supervisor looking for a topic of research. Otherwise, you have basics very well done at the graduation level and an area specialization done at the master's, where knowledge is at the metacognitive level. Theoretical understanding becomes possible. And the student is capable of doing that because the student has acquired factual knowledge and conceptual knowledge at the graduation. And then research becomes possible because after clearing the post-graduation, the student is in the gray area. Student has her own topics of research. Student has idea about the supervisor, to whom I should contact, under whom I should work, and